I survived 100 days.
100 days in Minecraft.
The journey
guys.
begins here. Are you sick of hearing this over and over and over again? Well, if you are, then this is the video for you, because I'm gonna talk about 5 games to survive 100 days in that are not Minecraft. These games that I'll be listing follow that survive 100 days format. Basically, these are going to be games that don't necessarily have a huge story on their own, but they have a crazy emphasis on survival, challenging gameplay, and building a story of your own by conquering the world around you. If you've watched any of my other videos, you already know the #1 game I'm going to save right now is Kenshi, baby. Kenshi is an absolutely beautiful game to survive 100 days in, because all of the story in Kenshi is made purely by the player's actions. I wanted to start with this one because, kinda like Minecraft, there is no quest in Kenshi. What Kenshi gives you instead is several unique backstory options. You can spawn in as a cannibal hunter whose only job is to take coin for cannibal heads, or a wanted criminal who stole the great holy sword crafted by the gods themselves. And if those sound too flashy, you can just spawn in as a guy with a dog. Let's say you chose to be some random wanderer in Kenshi to start off the game. You'll spawn and realize that you're hungry, so of course your first thought is to go get some food. So you'll go in a village and check out the market, but little did you know, Kenshi is a harsh and cruel world, and if you chose to spawn as a darker character, you'll immediately be attacked and killed by the Holy Nation because they're just downright racist. Or you'll see another starving group of bandits, so you seek to join them and team up together in order to get food. Turns out, they're cannibals, and now they're eating your body for every last scrap of food you can offer. Kenshi is an amazing world to survive in because you have no clue what the game is going to throw at you. If you don't give up on the harsh world the game has to offer, you'll realize that in numbers you are so much stronger in Kenshi. But it's going to take a lot of deaths to get to that point. And I mean a lot. After gathering allies and killing several enemies, you'll finally be able to stand against the harsh storm that Kenshi throws at you. So, you decide to build a base not too far from one of the allied territories that you befriended. Well, like many in life and death, no one can escape taxes. And the next thing you know, if you don't pay the daily tax that the village gives you from living close to it, you'll be starting from rock bottom all over again. Kenshi gives you so many different ways to create a story, and I really hope you guys check it out and are able to experience that story building for yourself. Bloop, 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 bloop. What is that? What the? Bloop, 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 bloop. Do you guys hear that? What is, bloop, 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 bloop. Oh shoot, it's a shark, run, go, get out. That's what you would be saying if you were playing Raft right now. Raft is a survival craft game where you spend the majority of your time surviving on a floating plank of wood. You know what? Let's call it a raft. The idea of this game is already enough to make it super appealing, but the game does a really good job at throwing even more stuff at you to keep you even more engaged. Raft is a game all about surviving in the ocean. Simple enough, right? Well, it would be if there weren't sharks, bears, hyenas, and rhino sharks. I'm not even going to get into why a game about the ocean has so many things on land that can kill you, but we're going to talk about what makes Raft an awesome survival game. Throughout the game, you'll have to fish for materials and food to upgrade your raft into a boat to keep your character alive. But you'll start off with your first pest, who does not want to see you succeed, the shark. Every now and then, he'll come by and grab a chunk of your boat. If that wasn't enough, seagulls and pelicans can attack you and steal your food. Starting to get tired of eating fish food all day? You'll have to explore the various islands of Raft that hold new creatures and various new materials. Although the threats in Raft are very real, Raft is more of a relaxing survival game compared to the others on this list. Even though the shark does come to bite your boat off, it won't be long before you build weapons in order to fend them off with much ease. And soon, you'll upgrade from a tiny boat to a cruise line heading straight for the Bahamas in no time. I mean, do you even really need to go to the Bahamas? You have all these beautiful islands around you, but whatever. If any of that sounds interesting, check out Raft. I didn't spend a ton of time playing Raft, but when I did play it, I had a ton of fun launching this one up, having a very relaxing and chill experience surviving with friends. This next game actually frustrates the crap out of me Despite putting 100 hours in this game and finishing it, if I made a list of my most hated games, this would be number 1. So let's talk about it. Outward, guys. If you haven't heard about it already, this is the hardest Souls-like game I've ever played, not because of the difficulty, but because this game is just downright unfair. What is Outward? Outward is an RPG Souls-like game where you embark on a quest to pay your taxes. If you can survive 100 days paying your taxes, you can do anything. Noticing a lot of taxes in this video? Well, if you could just be so kind to pay one more tax by liking the video, I'd really appreciate it. At the start of the game, you're confronted by the mayor of your city. You're in trouble for blood money. Essentially, that means your family owed some money and died, and now you have to pay it off. Super fair, right? The mayor will give you 5 days to pay off your blood money. But unlike most games, they actually allow you to fail the starting quest. You can actually fail just about every quest in this game, making every playthrough significantly different from the last, depending on which quest you succeeded on and which quest you failed on. And it turns out, you'll find failing quests in this game is extremely easy, because everything is based on a night and day cycle, making it a perfect game to survive 100 days in. The twist is, if you die, you could lose anywhere from 1 to 2 days of game time and spawn somewhere in a completely random area, extremely far away from where your original objective was. This gives Outward an awesome ability to force the player to explore areas it feels like the story didn't intend you to. One minute you might be attacking a wolf in the starter zone, and the next you'll wake up with dysentery in a bandit hideout and you'll have to fight your way through, find your loot, and get back to where you were before. Outward throws a ton of awesome scenarios at you, and if all of that wasn't enough, it's a survival game. So you'll be forced to go out, hunt, scavenge for materials and food to constantly keep your character in tip-top shape. I do want to warn though, this is a Souls-like game. One of my most frustrating Outward playthroughs, I spawned in as a mage, died, and then woke up with a disease that reduced my mana. And I had extremely low physical capabilities, so it literally forced me to play the game completely different for about 2 days before the disease was cured. And this made for an entire story in itself. So if you like the genre, I highly recommend checking this out, but this will be a difficult game that's not for the faint of heart. Let me paint you a picture. You wake up in the middle of a desert, no food, no water, just you and your naked, shivering self. No, we're not talking about Naked and Afraid here, but we are talking about Conan Exiles. Conan Exiles is a game where barbarian meets mythology. In Conan Exiles, you'll have to survive plague, spiders, and giant god beings that tower over you. Every day in this game is an absolute struggle. Your first objective will be very simple. Find some food, find some water, and put some dang clothes on. On your journey to do these things, the world will begin to unravel itself, as these dangers don't have many places to hide in a giant desert. At first, the game feels very small and simple. Wake up every day, get food and water, slowly upgrade your gear. But over time, Conan Exiles will let you unlock more and more pivotal game features, and this is where the story really comes in. As you're tasked with finding new materials, you'll soon venture out of this lonesome, hot desert and into new lands. Just beyond some massive walls lie beautiful greenery with horses that graze the field, snow biomes with Vikings that'll beat you senseless and beat you shirtless. The small world that you thought was uncivilized becomes so much more as you realize technologies, great kingdoms, new adventures are vast and abundant in the world of Conan Exiles. My story kind of started off like this. I hopped into the world of Conan Exiles just looking to make a friend in this lonely survival craft world, but I was only greeted by killer alligators and deathly ruins. As I soon gave up on having friends in this world, I quickly discovered that Conan Exiles has a much darker means of making friends: slavery.
What did he say?
Yeah, that's right. So what did I do? I whacked out a couple barbarians and had them do my bidding. Soon enough, my base was cluttered with merchants, tailors, blacksmiths, and this dangerous world became a little bit more friendly. But as I journeyed to gain more supplies and more materials, I ran into the Viking world, which had so much more accessible food, water, and awesome enemies to fight. So I moved out of the desert and lived the rest of my adventures as a Viking killer. Sounds fun, right? If it does, I would recommend to check out Conan Exiles. This game is very similar to Ark in the sense of you can spend hundreds or even thousands of hours playing it, and maybe that's the reason I loved it so much, but I don't know, it's a ton of fun. I definitely recommend playing it. Blah, blah, blah. What did you say? I said, blah, blah, blah. Fear me, I'm a vampire. Dude, we're at the park at 8 a.m. on a Sunday. Oh no, I'm melting. You must tell them my story. Tell them about V-Rising. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, fine. Let's talk about V-Rising. V-Rising is a survival craft vampire game with a twist. Instead of the hunted, you are the hunter. In V-Rising, you'll spawn in as a vampire who has been awakened from his years of slumber. Your goal? To become the new Dracula and defeat any vampire, human, or monster that stands in your way. In order to live as a vampire, you'll need to suck blood constantly. But what's awesome is the fun spin that they have on the blood sucking mechanic. Depending on the type of enemy and their quality of blood, they can offer a multitude of different abilities, which encourages the player to seek out the highest blood type enemies and even enslave them to constantly have a source of finger-licking good humans. Now, why would you want to have the best blood possible? Because V-Rising is a survival craft with an extremely high emphasis on boss battles. There's almost nothing you can do in this game without progressing through a boss first, so killing them is going to be your absolute first priority. By doing so, you'll unlock new servants, new weapons, and a ton of new abilities and upgrades to make your base look like Dracula's castle. Over time, you'll realize just how threatening the world of V-Rising is. On top of the limitations of the sun, this game will present you holy priests that will burn you to ash, monsters and other myths with some crazy abilities, and even Dracula himself. V-Rising is a game all about surviving as a vampire, and I had a blast playing, so I definitely recommend you check it out. Hopefully, I was able to put some new survival games on everyone's radar, whether you're looking to play 100 days in a game or even record a series of it. If there's any other games you think should have had a guaranteed spot on this list, let me know in the comments. I'm always open to checking out new games. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. If you guys are looking for more content like this, check out some of my other videos here.